Well, our next speaker this afternoon, I said, tell me something unique about you when you were a young, emerging woman. She says, well, when I was in the 6th grade, I was the #1 tetherball champion. Is that awesome or what? I go, you beat all the girls? She goes, and the boys. She was a killer, so she took that competitive spirit into the business world. She built a mortgage company, a escrow and title company, a property management company. She brought a Keller Williams franchise, and then she saw EXP and did what Rosie Rodriguez does. She crushed it. Everybody loves her. She's from Southern California, Los Angeles. Help me welcome to the stage, Rosie Rodriguez, everybody. Woo! Come on up here.
There you go. You're awesome. Go have fun.
Hey everybody! I'm not used to this thing, so hey everybody! So I'll start off by saying that when they asked me if I'd be willing to come up and speak, I was excited. Absolutely, yes. You know, you tell me that there's something going on and I'm there, especially from someone like Brent and James. Then I started really thinking about it, and I started thinking, well, what is it that I could say? What is it that I could do? What is it that you need to hear that will cause you to go out there and make like $10 million, tomorrow in real estate? And as I was thinking about it, in 25 years in the business, I realized that, EXP agents already know everything, right? You've heard it before. You've been to the classes. You've been in the world. You've been trained. You've sold the most real estate than any other real estate company out there. So what is it that is going to create that shift or that change? And then it occurred to me that a lot of agents only came into the business, maybe in the last 5 to 10 years, and real estate has been very, very different than it was 25 years ago. When I started, the rates were about 9.5%, 10%, and nobody had equity, 1996, 1997. So what occurred to me is that it's nothing that anybody up here is necessarily going to give you in terms of a pill or magic formula or a new technique. I mean, there's some technology for sure. However, it really is about the things that you're doing on a daily basis that are creating the results that you have. And hey, by the way, everybody at any given time is exactly where you want to be. If your production has plummeted and you've sat in that space, for the last 6-7 months, it's exactly where you want to be. Let me add to that. When things change, you have to change with them. They're not going to change by themselves. I was having a conversation with an agent yesterday before I got on the plane, and he says, Rosie, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I was doing great in the market. I had deals coming in left and right. I really don't know what happened. I said, well, tell me a little bit about your day, which brings me to my first point. He says, well, I get up about 7:30, and I take my dogs on a walk. Then I jump on a training session. I do a few calls. I go to the gym. I come back. I run my errands. I do a few more calls at the end of the day. And he says, I'm struggling, This is a true story, guys. He says, I'm struggling and I don't know what to do. I struggle to get up out of bed. I struggle to get myself going, I'm like, okay, well, let's do a challenge. He said, all right. I go, for the rest of this week, while I come back, because this was, I was on a plane, and I can't see him until Friday. He said, I'm going to challenge you to get up and get your workout done by 9:30 a.m. That's what he told me he could do. So he says, okay. I go, here's the deal. If you can successfully do that all week, he goes, all 5 days? I said, all week. He says, I can commit to 4. I said, that's fine. I'll meet you where you're at. If you can successfully do that this week, talk to me about how you feel on Friday when I meet you. I said, if you do 5 days, here's the deal. I'll pay you $100 if you do 5 days this week. However, if you don't do at least 4, you have to pay me $100. Yeah. Kind of known for those put your money where your mouth is bets, you know. So that's the deal. We'll see how it goes. The reason that I started with that is because the first thing that I would ask you to do is to take a look at your business today, because you have to adjust it to where the market is today. You can't get up at 10 o'clock and say, oh my God, I'm going to write an offer, right? What's your daily routine? Well, some of you might say, well, what does a schedule of a top producer look like? I would challenge you to get up tomorrow and go to the gym and see who's in there. All right? Because they're in there by 5, 6 in the morning usually. Okay? They're not out, you know, till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning partying. If they are, they're kind of crazy. Krista was there, I was there this morning. So it's getting up in the morning, guys, getting your physical, yourself taken care of. And I'm going to say exercise. Some people say, well, if you exercise. I'm like, no, you need to exercise. You need to move. First thing in the morning to get your body going, right? If you can do 45 minutes of an intense workout, you actually trigger the happy energy chemicals, the serotonin and the dopamine and all of that stuff. So if you knew that there was one thing that you could do that could trigger the rest of your day, wouldn't you do it? I mean, forget about looking hot. I know this body took me some work. It's not about the physical. It's about what's in here, right? It's about building those habits. And so get up at 5 in the morning, do your meditation, your prayer, your exercise. I clock in to work by 8 o'clock in the morning. I clock in. I know I have to be there because that's how a business person runs their business. You have a schedule. It's not just, well, when I want to get up or if I have to pick up my dry cleaning. By 9 o'clock, I'm on the phone, new business. I kind of do that till about 12 o'clock. I have lunch. I do my follow-ups, work on some business items, pick up my son about 3 o'clock. Then about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, after we've done dinner, and my son is 15, he ignores me, most of the time. So I get back, and I'm back to my business because I love this business. I love it. If I can do this all day, every day, like who wants to retire? I know we're supposed to retire with our rev share, but I love what I do. So it's a full day, guys. It's a full day of productive activities. And ask yourself, is what you're doing productive? Maybe it was before because you didn't have to do much to be productive. But now it's going to take something different. When I share that part of my morning is gratitude, meditation, prayer, I have to say this because I had a little experience about a month ago. I was supposed to be at the shareholders meeting and I wasn't able to make it because I had a gallbladder situation. And it kind of like went rogue. I ended up having a couple of surgeries and I was out for almost a month. And I'll tell you that I was in the ER 4 times over the course of 3 weeks. And I know it's not a major situation. However, I can guarantee you it felt very major to me. You know, I was in a lot of pain. I literally passed out twice right before the second surgery because of the pain. And I woke up the next day after my surgery, and I have to share that I sat up on my bed. I like to go hiking, but I wasn't able to, obviously, and I hadn't been hiking in weeks. I just sat up and I looked at the sun, And I was overwhelmed with a feeling of gratitude. So thankful. And I started thinking about how good God has been to me. And some of you guys that know my story a little bit would say, really, Rosie? Because I lost my father at 13, and I was the first one to get the phone call that his heart stopped. And 18 months later, my mom passed away of cancer. And I was part of caring for her and bathing her and that whole journey. I grew up in a bad neighborhood, and I had gangsters literally come into my house and try to take my brother out when I was about 19. And that was one of those moments that really triggered me to do something different and get him out of the neighborhood. Other things that I could share, however, every time I thought about those things, I thought about how something or someone was there to, lift me up. And so when I ask you to wake up in the morning and do your prayer or your meditation, you don't need to learn how to pray. You don't need to learn how to meditate. I know that's hard. Trust me, I'm like, it's not going to work. You could just stay in gratitude. Start your day that way. Say thank you. Why? Because yes, you're breathing. You have a home. You have people that love you. You can walk. You can eat. You can breathe. We all have challenges. But start with the things that you're grateful for as a daily routine. So let's say you got that down. You've got the daily routine down. Now what? Right? Who's holding you accountable? Because, man, I will lie to myself like nobody's business. I will not eat brownies. I'm lying. Lying. So who's holding you accountable? I have a coach that holds me accountable on Mondays and on Fridays. Mondays because I need to know what I say I'm going to do, and then Friday because he's going to let me know whether or not I did it. Some of you might say, I can't afford coaching. I say bullshit. Okay? Because there's an app, and you can get a therapist for $39 like a month. Okay? And that could be your accountability partner. You can get an accountability partner. Yeah. You measure what matters. And what you focus on will expand. So the first thing is check and audit your daily routine. The second thing is make sure that you have accountability in your life, in your daily life. The third thing I would say, and I would say this one is really, really important. Well, they're all important. But it can be tough, especially it's like, how am I going to pay the bills? Or, some of you guys have overheads of $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. Like, oh my gosh, everything is crashing in. Whatever it is. The third key is the energy, which brings us back to the first point, which is how are you creating that energy? Are you moving? Is there some kind of activity? I'll put on a little song and start moving, and all of a sudden I shift, right? As a matter of fact, you guys are all like nice and calmly sitting here. Everybody stand up for a minute. I want you to move a little bit. I just want to do an experiment. All right. Shake it out. Shake it out. I'm not going to make you touch anyone, okay? Like, I know that exercise. I'm not going to make you do that. But we're gonna see if some of the intuitives in the room or some of you guys are just kind of like promoters. Really, this is your time to shine. I have to give somebody a cue here. When you hear this next sound, you have to follow the instructions of the sound. Okay? Is everybody game to play? Yes? Okay. Because at EXP, we go all in, baby. Right? Okay. All right, so where's, I don't know, the cue? I think I have to do like karate chop. Okay, what's that? What song is this? Woo! Hey, hey, hey. Hey, you in the Don't sit down. You can turn it off, the music. Do you guys feel a little different? Do you? We could just shut it down and just go to the club right now. I'm just saying. The mangoes. We're going to mangoes. All right. Before you sit down, the fourth thing I want to say, remember, daily routine, your rhythm. The second thing is accountability. The third thing is what's going to get your energy going. And then the fourth thing, which ties back to the story I had, which is really starting and ending your day with gratitude, right? And as a form of gratitude, I do want to extend, and I would like for all of us to extend, a special demonstration of gratitude, for Brent and James, who have put these events on year after year, have taken money out of their pocket, to make this happen. I was thinking about this and I was like, man, do you know how many times Brent might have been thinking I'd really wanted to be there when one of his 17 children, maybe had a bad day and really wanted to talk to dad, right? Or there was a party or a sports event that he missed, or James. Do you know how many sacrifices they actually have made for all of us? So I am eternally grateful, and I'd like for all of you to show your gratitude by a form of applause. Yes. Thank you, Brent. Thank you, James. Yes. Thank you. All right, you guys can sit down now. That's all I got for you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you around.
Rosie Rodriguez, everybody, give her a hand.